Let's address the proverbial elephant in the room. Did Mike Tyson actually just beat up a guest for disrespecting him while filming a show? Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we have an insane story to tell you. It's been going around that Mike Tyson got a little bit confrontational with NFL star Brandon Marshall while filming for the Super Bowl live party. But what actually happened? Let's provide some background first. But before that, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button along with the notification bell to receive updates on our future uploads. During the 2022 Super Bowl, Mike Tyson was invited to watch the show at the Super Bowl 2022 watch party hosted by the Lions Den. Along with him were other sports superstars like former UFC two-weight champion Daniel Cormier and Brendan Schaub. Among those in attendance was Brandon Marshall, a former American football receiver and current sports TV personality. From the start, Marshall's exuberant energy was already felt as he engaged in banter with the other guests. In the sports community, he's well known for his open and playful demeanor. Thus, it was not a shock to fans when he started joking around with Mike Tyson. The two were bursting out in laughter during their entire interaction. But what caught people's attention was the apparent off-the-ring boxing match the two stars had. Tyson was able to show his boxing prowess, throwing quick jabs at Marshall, destabilizing his form. Not surprisingly, Marshall's lack of experience when it comes to boxing was apparent, as he wasn't able to dish back any strong punches. In fact, he was stepping away during this entire interaction, despite his larger build. To provide a summary of the videos, it starts off with Brandon Marshall sitting with Mike Tyson, either cockily or jokingly, depending on how you interpret it, declaring that if he was challenged to a fight, he would most likely win, regardless of who that person was. He was naming famously strong fighters, including Tyson. Now, the part where people might interpret as him disrespecting Tyson was when he interrupted him when he was about to speak. In fact, Marshall interrupts Tyson quite a number of times. It seems as though Tyson's facial expression during a particular moment when he was interrupted shows that he was a little annoyed with Marshall. When Marshall started pursuing Tyson, the boxing legend finally decided to hit back. Marshall was quickly beaten, obviously. That's not a shocker. After resting for a bit, Marshall again kept on taunting Tyson, putting his hands all over him. When Tyson gave out a few light jabs, he sent Marshall running. They then sat down again, but it wasn't long until Marshall asked Tyson to go for round 2. The other people kept on telling Marshall to leave Mike alone, and that he's poking a bear. In between their mini-fights, they were engaging in banter. This went on, and honestly, it was quite entertaining to watch. It made the live stream much more enjoyable. Just seeing someone taunting a boxing legend, teasing him, and Tyson jokingly participating in the banter makes you imagine what if he actually threw a serious punch. Now that would have been the highlight of the 2022 Super Bowl. Just forget about all your favorite football teams, because Mike Tyson just sent Brandon Marshall to the hospital. Imagine that headline. That would send the sports community into a frenzy. When videos documenting the incident were posted online, a lot of publications were covering it, attaching over-exaggerated titles like "Mike Tyson unleashes hell on NFL star Brandon Marshall with a flurry of punches," just to attract readers to click on their page. However, we all know most people just read the title of an article and ran with it, leaving them to believe that Mike Tyson was actually violent during his live stream. I also saw a few sports commentators on YouTube making videos covering the story. Sad to say that quite a few of them misinterpreted the videos, painting a story of Tyson lashing out against Marshall for disrespecting him. Now, if we were to actually watch the videos of the Tyson-Marshall incident, we'd see nothing more than two friends having a faux boxing match, cracking up jokes, and having a good time. There clearly wasn't any animosity coming from either side. After the supposed heated battle, they were back to their banter. The narrative that Mike Tyson was offended or annoyed by Brandon Marshall is simply false. If you look at the videos, he was clearly enjoying his energetic presence. As we all know, Marshall is known for being the happy, jolly, extroverted guy. But we often forget why. He had a borderline personality disorder. His way of coping with this condition is to be playful with all the other players. If Tyson was truly bothered by how Marshall was acting, he would have made it known, or we would have at least seen it in his face and his tone of speaking. Guys, we really need to stop over-exaggerating situations just for the sake of creating drama. That mentality is pretty toxic and is not representative of what sports are about. Sports are supposed to be about a communal activity that everyone can enjoy. The Super Bowl is especially special in that it brings families together in front of the screen or stadium to root for their favorite football team. In the spirit of sportsmanship and camaraderie, let's dispel this ridiculous rumor, because it obviously wasn't that serious. Tyson and Marshall are probably laughing behind the scenes at our ridiculous assumptions right now. Mike Tyson is having a lot of fun outside the ring, and it's most likely that it stays that way as he's comfortably in retirement. He recently announced that he's done competing in any boxing match at a professional level. He famously retired back in 2005 after suffering 3 consecutive losses. After 15 years, he was yet to compete in another match. However, when the word got out that he was training with MMA coach Rafael Cordero, there was hope that he would once again compete, and it came to fruition when he competed in an exhibition boxing match on November 28, 2020 against Roy Jones Jr. The Mike Tyson vs. Roy Jones Jr. Lockdown Knockdown was the biggest boxing match of 2020, earning a total of 1.6 billion pay-per-view buys. The match ended in a draw. Earlier this year, there were some rumors that began circulating that Tyson would be fighting popular internet personality turned boxer Logan Paul, but Tyson dispelled these rumors quickly. After his recent announcement, it's safe to say that his little boxing mini-match with Brandon Marshall would be the only thing fans get from the boxing legend. He'll be spending his time boxing outside of the ring, which I respect. He deserves to enjoy his retirement. It was quite entertaining to watch his interaction with Brandon Marshall at the 2022 Super Bowl watch party. Brandon Marshall has previously been inside the Super Bowl stadium, not as a TV personality, but as a player. Unfortunately, despite a long and successful career, he's never won the Super Bowl. He admitted in an interview that he's still trying to come to terms with the fact that he was never able to achieve his biggest goal of winning the title of world champion. He states that he's over football and is moving on to other career ventures. Still, he has a lot of love for the game, which is why he was happily watching the game on live stream. Personally, this transition seems very seamless. His fun and playful personality are definitely fitting for TV, especially in a sports lounge setting. I can actually see Mike Tyson becoming a prominent sports TV personality himself, just like Marshall. He possesses a natural charm and had pretty funny and entertaining interactions with the guests. He seemed to be enjoying himself during the live stream, so I can see him doing more TV gigs in the future. Obviously, he's not going to suddenly become a sports commentator, but seeing him in a more chill setting and watching the Super Bowl with other sports legends was definitely a highlight of the event. Speaking of Super Bowl, it was an insane match, you guys. Super Bowl 56 was the Los Angeles Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals. It was quite a close victory for the Rams as they scored 23-20 against the Bengals. This was their second win overall, with their last win being from the 1999 Super Bowl 34. The Rams finished with a record of 12-5, and it was their 5th appearance, while the Bengals finished with a record of 10-7. It was their first appearance in decades. The televised broadcast of the event gained a total of 112.3 million viewers on NBC and streaming platforms. It was the second most watched game in history, with its rating having an 8% increase from last year. As for the Pepsi halftime show, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent offered a 15-minute-long performance, gaining about 83 million views on YouTube. This was almost double the views that last year's performer, The Weeknd, accumulated. Previously, there were a few Super Bowl halftime Pepsi performances that had a lukewarm to negative reception from the public, with a notable example being Maroon 5's Super Bowl 53 halftime show performance. It received one of the lowest YouTube views of any recent halftime show performance, sitting at about 19 million views. This year was definitely a step in the right direction. Having 5 hip-hop legends perform drew in a lot of buzz and attention to the event, bringing back a little pizzazz to the show. The event also has star-studded attendees, some being Cardi B, Doja Cat, The Weeknd, and many more. I'd say this year's Super Bowl was a success. But what do you think of the whole situation? What other moments from the 2022 Super Bowl did you enjoy and that you'd want me to talk about? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more sports-related content like this. Until next time.